Development versus David McNulty.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Fantera, standing in for Attorney Brittany Brownlick for the plaintiff.
Your name, sir?
I'm David McNulty.
Thank you. You have to take your hands out your pocket.
Hands out your pocket.
Thank you. All right, where are we on this?
The balance that's owed on this case is $3,997. I contacted Ms. Brownlick received a call from Alicia at SOS on Friday, September 29th. I spoke to Kara, the supervisor at SOS, yesterday. They are committed to paying $3,000, but they're going to pay it. So it's not a matter of, when they get to them, they'll pay it. They'll pay it, provided we resolve the other $997. I went to Ms. Brownlick and I made the suggestion that because they don't have much money, and if we don't get this resolved, they may pass him over and give the money to someone else. So what I suggested was waiving the $997 in exchange for him dismissing the counterclaim, which we believe is meritless anyway.
This case starts with numbers $3,997 owed, $3,000 promised, and an ask to clear the rest, but those digits barely scratch the surface. Behind them is a man stretched thin, living paycheck to paycheck, staring down the threat of homelessness. What looks like a deal on paper is really pressure and disguise system nudging him to settle fast, not fight fair. And when you're already on the edge, even almost fair can feel like surrender.
I believe that the amount is in error because I owe $460 for I think it's July and August and September, and it can come anywhere near. My rent was around $800, originally advertised at $800, so that would have been $2,800, not $3,900. I have no idea where they got that, how they added that up, and I think that's an error.
Because you haven't made a payment since July, so we've added August, September, and October onto that balance.
$800 a month.
Right.
So how does that, $460 for July, and then $800 for 3 months only makes $2,800.
So my client has an accounting. I don't even know why we're talking about this, because we're agreeing to zero his account out. I have an accounting that goes back to February. It has every charge, which his rent was $800 in February, $850 from March till now. It has late fees for every month from June till now. It has $30 in water bills every month, and then it applies all of his payments. It adds the court costs on of $217. It totals all the charges, and then you subtract the payments he's made, and in fact, they've given him $500 of rent credits, and the difference is $39.97. I'm more than happy to give this to him, but again, we're talking about doing this in a way that gets this done so that SOS does not give his money to somebody else. We can get this done, and we're done. He doesn't owe us.
Sir, have you looked at that?
I have looked at it. I understand what they're talking about. Originally, in the first 6 months, I paid $800 and there was no additional water fee. And
Okay, but sir,
and also, it doesn't take any consideration into the fact that the electric was for the hallways is being billed in my name. As soon as I mentioned that, then all the other charges came up.
okay, so
Closely, this isn't just about unpaid rent. He's describing hallways wired into his electric bill, unlivable conditions, and a sense of being exploited from day one. It's heartbreaking because even if every word is true, the court isn't here to fix the apartment or hold anyone accountable for that. They're here to settle a debt, and that disconnect between justice and what's legally on the table is what makes this so gutting to watch.
I'm interested. I'm going to have to move soon, and I have very little money. When I rented the apartment, I was on the street, and he needed to rent an apartment because he was leaving town, I believe he took advantage of me. I got an apartment that was not in livable condition.
Okay, so you want to have a trial? Want to have a trial on this?
I would rather have the matter settled, but they're not coming anywhere near. I would need a letter saying that I paid all my bills because already I've been refused public housing because of the proceedings.
Well, but this gets you there, doesn't it? I mean, the conditional order dismissal gets you there to where everything's paid.
Well, yeah, I would like to have it paid. Yeah.
Not asking for a favor, he's asking for a lifeline. That letter confirming his bills are paid isn't about clearing his name out of Pride's survival. Without it, public housing is off the table. This is the part most people never see in eviction court. You're not just battling one landlord, you're trying to preserve any chance at stable housing in the future, because one case can haunt you. For years, even if you did everything right to get back on track,
I need the money from the security deposit to get a new place, but because I'm giving him trouble, he'll not.
Sir, if you want to have a trial on this, you can. But it seems to me that what's being proposed here is a way to have your account zeroed out going into November. Okay. They're waiving basically a quarter of what they're claiming is owed. And then you have a zero balance going into November.
I agree that.
Okay, but here's the problem. If the agreement's not made, and it's what Mr. Fantera was indicating, it may be that then you get passed over with the funding.
I understand that.
You get passed over with the funding, and let's say we have a trial on this. And let's say the judgment comes out, let's say even in your favor, where I say you only owe 50% of it. So you owe $2,000. Do you have the $2,000 to pay it?
No, I don't.
Then what would end up happening is they would be issuing, there'd be a judgment. Then ultimately they would file their order of eviction, and then you'd be put out on the street.
And also, Your Honor, there's a money judgment request in this case, so there would be a money judgment in that same amount.
this is the gut punch moment. The judge lays it out cold. Even if he wins at trial and knocks $1,000 off the debt, if he still can't pay, he's out. That's where the truth hits. Justice doesn't always mean stability. It's no longer about who's right or wrong. It's about survival. When the choice is fight for fairness or take the deal that keeps you from being homeless, the system doesn't feel like justice, it feels like...
Because it's taking into account $997.
I would be if he would allow give me the 10 days in November.
The 10 days in November
Would be at the official end of the lease.
You want when does the lease end now?
11/10/22. I'm sorry. It started 11/10/20.
Yeah, it ends 11/10.
So it ends at the end of November. I mean, at the 10th of November?
The 10th of November. And
So the lease already ends.
what's that?
The lease already ends November 10th.
Yeah.
What are you asking?
Well, he's saying that I would be paid up until November 1st, and then I would still owe for the 10 days in November. If he would allow me to stay until November 10th, then I would accept that.
So you want a waiver of the 10 days, 1/3 of a month's rent, basically.
Right.
May I?
Sure.
I think what I'm hearing, and I asked my client, some of these leases, even though the last 10 days, you still have to pay a full month's rent because that's not the case here. you would only have to pay 10 days worth of rent. So I think I actually brought a conditional dismissal, which I had Ms. Brownlick sign. And what it says is that SOS to pay $3,000 by October 31st. Upon receipt of $3,000, plaintiff shall waive remaining $997, meaning that defendant's rent will be paid in full through October 31st. Counterclaim dismissed with prejudice. So I think if I cross off October 31st and I write in that he will be paid through November 10th, and then I put another line in that says defendant must vacate the property by November 10th, and make those two changes and initial them, I think I'm now, and my clients approved this. We're not saying he's going to get a security deposit back because, of course, we haven't done the walkthrough to see the damages, but he will owe no rent as long as he's out by November 10th.
That's the reality his win isn't. About clearing his name or setting the record straight, it's about getting 10 more days. 10 days to breathe, to plan, to avoid sleeping in a car. It's not justice in the way we like to imagine it. It's survival justice. A quiet compromise that won't make headlines but means everything when you're living on the edge. In a system that rarely bends, sometimes the smallest extension is the biggest relief.